need to elevate in the same way that, that my paycheck elevated. So,
yeah, we seen that. I seen them zeros.
Stop it.
It's crazy. You could look up people's salary.
I know. I'm like, y'all know.
I'm pocket watching because when it's my time, I need to be getting paid.
Angel Reese isn't just here to play basketball. She's here to rewrite the rules of the game. As the Chicago Sky Star takes her fiery spirit from the court to her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, she's shaking things up in the WNBA like a soda can before a summer picnic. She's not holding back on the low salaries that have players struggling to make ends meet. And she's even hinting at a player strike if the league doesn't step up.
Hearing if y'all don't give us what we want, we sit out.
That's a possibility, for real.
Yeah.
It was now, I feel like just with the leverage that, we have right now, and it's just a time that women's basketball is going crazy. They're really, it's gonna be a time next year.
Ooh, so I'm excited.
But we deserve it.
I'm excited.
And guess what? She's got backup. Dijonai Carrington, fresh off a standout season with the Dallas Wings, is right beside her, proving that these conversations are more than just locker room chatter. They're a full-on battle plan for the future of women's basketball. With viewership skyrocketing and billions pouring into the league, why are players like Reese still making less than a fast food manager? It's time for a change, and she's leading the charge. So what does it take for the WNBA to finally listen? Will Reese and her teammates really sit out if they don't get what they deserve? Buckle up, because we're diving into a conversation that's as heated as a fourth quarter playoff game. But before we dive deeper into this thrilling saga, hit that like button and subscribe. Join our squad to stay updated on all things WNBA, from player rights to game highlights and everything in between. Angel Reese is not here to play by the old rules, and she's making sure everyone knows it. The Chicago Sky Star has taken her outspoken nature from the court to her podcast, Unapologetically Angel, where she's been stirring up conversations that the WNBA might not be ready for. She's calling out low salaries, exposing the financial reality of being a professional women's basketball player, and even hinting at a player strike if things don't change soon. And she's not alone. Dijonai Carrington, fresh off a breakout season and now with the Dallas Wings, is right there with her, confirming that these aren't just locker room complaints. They're real CBA collective bargaining agreement war plans in the making. But is the WNBA listening? More importantly, does the league even have a choice anymore? The WNBA's meteoric rise and the paychecks that haven't followed. Let's talk numbers, because that's where things get interesting. The WNBA is exploding in popularity, 42% increase in viewership over the previous year. That's not a typo. People are tuning in like never before. And the money? Oh, the money's flowing. Disney, NBC, and Amazon just dumped $2.2 billion into an 11-year media deal, meaning the league will be pulling in a clean $200 million per year starting in 2026. Teams are expanding too. San Francisco, Portland, and Toronto are all set to join the league, proving that investors are buying into the future of women's basketball. So with all this growth, why is Angel Reese making just $75,000 in 2025? You heard that right. The WNBA's hottest rookie, a player whose name and image are pulling in millions of eyeballs, is making less than an assistant manager at some retail stores. She even admitted that her $8,000 a month rent isn't covered by her WNBA salary. Think about that. Her entire paycheck doesn't even pay for the roof over her head. Angel Reese is done playing small, and so are her teammates. Reese isn't just complaining for the sake of it. She's pointing out something a lot of people don't realize. The current CBA is holding players back financially, and rookies entering in 2026 might actually out-earn veterans like her. Why? Because the players forced the league to renegotiate the CBA early. The previous agreement was set to last until 2027, but in October 2023, the WNBPA, the players' union, pulled the plug on it. Now the current deal expires in 2025, meaning a new structure will kick in just in time for the 2026 draft class. And let's just say, Reese isn't thrilled about watching fresh rookies come in and immediately get bigger checks than players who paved the way. Carrington, who actually sat in on union meetings last season, confirmed that the salary scale is likely to shift dramatically. That's why Brittany Griner and Satu Sabali only signed one-year contracts. They're waiting for that new money to hit before committing long-term. Reese, she's locked into a 4-year, $324,383 contract, and that number isn't going up anytime soon. So when she says, if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out, she means it. And she's not bluffing. The WNBA CBA battle. The CBA negotiations aren't just about paychecks. They're about power. Right now, the league operates under a hard salary cap, which means teams can only spend a certain amount of money on player salaries. Unlike in the NBA, where superstars can sign massive contracts, WNBA players are stuck in a rigid pay structure that prevents them from earning what they're actually worth. And the players, they want that cap gone. They're also asking for a bigger slice of the revenue pie. In the NBA, players get roughly 50% of league revenue. In the WNBA, that number is closer to 20%. Reese and Carrington know that if the WNBA wants to be taken seriously as a billion-dollar business, it has to start paying its workforce like one. And if the league doesn't, well, that's where the strike talk gets real. Now, is Angel Reese demanding too much? Of course, not everyone is on board with Reese's stance. Critics are already coming for her, with some saying she should prove herself before demanding more money. Others have pointed to her 39.1% field goal percentage and 18.8% three-point shooting, questioning whether she's really a game-changing talent or just a media sensation. And then there's the fake controversy. A viral post from NBA Central on X, formerly Twitter, claimed that Reese said, WNBA players should be getting paid like NBA players because they play at a higher level than some men. But here's the kicker. That quote was completely fake. Still, the damage was done. The internet ran with the narrative that Reese was out here asking for Steph Curry money, even though all she actually said was that WNBA players deserve more than their current outdated salaries. And honestly, she's right. The WNBA is making more money than ever. The league is growing faster than ever. And yet players are still being treated like side hustlers, relying on endorsements and overseas contracts just to live comfortably. Reese isn't afraid to ruffle feathers to change that. And whether people love her or hate her, they're paying attention. The real question now isn't if the WNBA will change, but how long it will take before players force it to. Angel Reese has never been the type to back down from a fight, not on the court, not on social media, and definitely not when it comes to WNBA salaries. But if you thought this was just about money, think again. Because while Reese and her fellow players battle for bigger paychecks, they're also facing a war of perception, one that's been brewing for years. And whether it's gender stereotypes, online hate, or critics who think she should just shut up and play, Reese is taking them all head on. Why Angel Reese's fight isn't winning everyone over. You'd think that in 2025, fighting for fair wages wouldn't be controversial. But when Angel Reese speaks up, the internet always has something to say, and not all of it is support. Some fans, they're all in, calling this the golden era of women's sports, celebrating the WNBA's rise, and demanding that the players get what they're worth. Others, not so much. When Reese said, if y'all don't give us what we want, we sitting out, some people laughed it off, saying a WNBA strike would barely make headlines. And then there were the personal attacks. Reese has already faced endless criticism about her style of play, with some using her 39.1% field goal percentage and 18.8% three-point shooting as an excuse to downplay her influence. And then there's the viral fake quote scandal. A post from NBA Central on X claimed that Reese said WNBA players should be paid like NBA players because they play at a higher level than some men. Now let's be clear, she never said that. But the internet ran with it, and before long, people were piling on, accusing her of being entitled, unrealistic, and even delusional. It's the same tired narrative that always seems to pop up when female athletes demand better. But Reese, she's not backing down. WNBA players versus gender stereotypes, the fight off the court. Reese's battle isn't just about money, it's about respect. And she's not the only one tired of the double standards. On her Unapologetically Angel podcast, she and Dajonai Carrington got real about the constant criticism of WNBA players' appearance and femininity. They broke down how female athletes are always judged. Either they're too masculine to be attractive, or they're doing too much when they embrace their femininity. Pick one, Carrington joked. But it's not just a joke, it's the reality of being a woman in sports. From the long shorts debate to the braids versus ponytails discourse, WNBA players are constantly scrutinized in ways their male counterparts never are. Reese even pointed out how people bash female players for dating within the league, something that's completely normal in the NBA, but somehow becomes a problem in women's basketball. The double standards are loud, and the players, they're done playing along. The WNBA is demanding major changes, including a bigger share of league revenue, since players currently get way less than NBA players. The removal of the hard salary cap so teams can actually pay their stars what they're worth. A restructured rookie pay scale so players aren't stuck in outdated contracts while the league makes billions. And if the league doesn't budge, well, let's just say that Angel Reese and her generation of WNBA stars aren't the type to stay quiet. The WNBA has never been bigger. The money is pouring in. The players know their worth. Now it's just a matter of whether the league is smart enough to pay them before it's too late. All right, let's break this down. Angel Reese and Taurasi Carrington are not just talking the talk. They're ready to walk the walk, right out of the WNBA if things don't change. With the league raking in cash like it's Black Friday, it's wild that players are still struggling to pay rent. Reese's $75,000 salary is a joke when you consider she's basically a walking highlight reel. It's like buying a brand new sports car and then putting it on a budget plan that only lets you fill up the tank once a month. The WNBA is booming, and yet the players are stuck in the past with paychecks that scream side hustle. When you see viewership hitting record highs and media deals worth billions, it's hard not to wonder why the league is treating its stars like they're still playing in high school gyms. The current CBA is more outdated than a flip phone, and players like Reese are done being polite about it. So what's the takeaway here? If the WNBA wants to keep its rising stars, it better start paying them like the superstars they are. The talk of a strike isn't just idle chatter, it's a wake-up call. If the league doesn't get its act together, we might see a mass exodus of talent, and that would be a disaster for everyone involved. If the WNBA keeps ignoring its players, it won't just be the end of a few contracts, it'll be the end of an era. Players like Angel Reese are ready to change the game, and it's time the league steps up or risks losing everything. And that's a wrap. So what do you think? Are Angel Reese and Taurasi Carrington right to threaten a strike, or do you think they should play it safe and stick it out? Do you believe the WNBA will finally step up and pay its players what they deserve? Also, how do you feel about the current CBA? Is it time for a complete overhaul, or should players just accept the status quo? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear all your takes on this hot topic. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to stay updated with all the latest WNBA drama, player rights discussions, and deep dives. We're bringing you the real unfiltered takes you won't hear anywhere else. Oh, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. Trust me, this season is just getting started, and the drama is only going to get wilder. Catch y'all in the next one.